The first image generation tool that I want to show you is Adobe Firefly. One of the reasons Adobe Firefly stands out from other similar tools is that they used licensed images from their own stock to train their models, instead of feeding it with illustrations and other artists' works online. There is a lot of polemic right now about the rights attribution and compensating artists for providing their work for the algorithms. They decided to prioritize the ethical side of the platform, which I really admire. The end result you're getting maybe is not the most refined one, comparing to Midjourney, for example, but it's fully licensed if that is important to you. If you go to firefly.adobe.com, you'll see the landing page with the overview of all the different tools. Some of them are launched already, and some are still in exploration. The idea is that all these tools are here to test by the public and explore in this free beta space. They will be implemented within Adobe products like Photoshop, Illustrator, or Premiere. They already started implementing some of them, like generative fill in Photoshop, which is mind-blowing, and I guess they'll continue doing it with others as well. So the tool I want to show you is the text-to-image. So before it takes you to the workspace, Adobe Firefly will take you through some legal stuff. Here you can read about where the data comes from and some current limitations of the model, if you want to read the whole thing, or you can skip it or just go through it, and after you click done, you will arrive to the workspace. It starts with almost, I think, endless gallery of other people's generations. And in each of these images, you can see the prompt that was used to create them. So it's a good way of getting some inspiration before you start, especially if you don't have a lot of experience creating prompts yet. And then here on the bottom of the page, a bit easy to miss, is the chat window where we can write our own prompt and start generating. Let's try to create a cover image for our presentation about smart cities. So I'm gonna start with a prompt, futuristic city with a lot of greenery, happy people riding bikes, and overall sense of happiness. Let's click generate and see what it comes up with. Here is the result. It always gives you 4 options to choose from. And what I really like about Adobe Firefly comparing to other image generators like Midjourney that works with prompts only is that they added tools and settings here. And this is super helpful, especially if you're just starting using these tools and don't know how to create strong prompts yet. It can be a really good place to start. So instead of describing exactly what you need, you can use these pre-made functionalities. For example, the very first thing we need to do is to switch our aspect ratio, which is square by default. We need to switch it to 16:9, which will be perfect for our presentation cover. Okay, so this very first result is a bit rough. First of all, it assigned automatically the category art to it. So let's try to refine this a little. First, I'm gonna switch from art to photo. That's a lot better. And now we can play with all the different styles here. So there is a bit of wild morphing going on with people on bikes. You can see that it's not really people, not really bikes. Let's try click refresh and see if it comes up with better result. Okay, that looks a bit closer to people on bikes, but still quite weird. Anyway, let's try to play around with the techniques and styles and colors a little bit, see if it's better. Wow, I really like this curved building. Okay, so styles, we can select all to show all of them. There's quite a lot to choose from. So for this one, I think one that could work is probably science fiction. And note that as you're selecting different styles, it will add like little tags here in the prompt window. So this way you can control them as well. You can deselect or clear your styles. And then if you click generate, it will only assign the ones that are selected. Of course, you can select several styles. So for example, science fiction fantasy. Let's add warm color. Lighting could be golden hour, which I love. And composition, we want wide angle. Okay, so now we have a bunch of different tags. Let's click generate. All right, it's not getting better. The tool is still in development, so we shouldn't be waiting for like amazing results from the very beginning, and probably something just don't work yet. So let's try what it does without the people on bikes. We just say futuristic city with a lot of greenery and overall sense of happiness. And let's also get rid of fantasy and try again. Okay, that's much better. I'm seeing really nice results here. Still a bit wild in some of the shapes and some textures, but I think this is something that might work. Although I'm not quite sure this looks like a smart city from a near future, it looks more like some crazy fantasy. So I want to change the prompt a little bit and replace futuristic city with smart city. Let's say from 2040. And we'll keep the rest with a lot of greenery and overall sense of happiness. And let's see if the result is a bit closer to the reality. All right. Well, this looks a little bit more realistic, although these buildings right here are very weird. Another good thing about Firefly is that if you applied a change, if you change the prompt or maybe applied settings that didn't quite work, you can always go back just using your browser. If you click back, it takes you back to your previous result and you can start over. Also, when you hover on each image, you have a set of buttons. So with these right here, you can report or rate the results, so you can help to train the algorithm. You can also save a picture as a favorite. You can download it. Here are another few options: copy to clipboard or use as a reference. And here on the left, if you click show similar, it will basically replace another 3 images and create something very similar to this one. Yeah, more or less. I think for our cover, this picture here might work. So again, this process can take you a lot more than just what this lesson is. So I would advise to go ahead and try all the different styles and movements, different content types, and just keep refining it until you're happy with the result. It's like with all the rest of the AI tools, the process sometimes can take you hours. So for this demo, I'm gonna pick this picture. I will download it as it is. It will apply some credentials to the corner. So this is something that by default will be there because of the licensing. And I'm gonna show you another really cool feature, which is generative fill. This is already implemented within Photoshop. So if you have Photoshop, you can play with it and try all the different options. But here in Firefly, we can select a piece of the picture. So for example, if I want to add a moon to the sky, I can select this and I'm gonna add moon, generate. I can select from 4 different options or generate more if you want. I think I like this picture right here. It integrates a bit more into the background. And then you can cancel or keep. On some pictures, you would also be able to remove the background, but in this example, the background is quite complicated, so I'm not sure it's going to do a good job. Here you can also click remove and remove some objects. It will take into account what's on the picture to generate a feeling. A bit awkward, but still works. Let's try to remove this here. Oh yeah, we're gonna keep. And then on brush settings, we can make the brush smaller like this. And let's try to remove this stick. There you go. And every time you insert or remove something, it will give you a few options to choose from. So this is quite nice. Let's keep this. And we're gonna download the picture again. Hopefully you just created a nice cover image for your presentation. Or switching the format to square or vertical, you can also create images to illustrate any other slide as well. Adobe Firefly is free for now, so it's a very good playground when you can try all the different prompts, combining it with different settings, and hopefully learn more about how to create prompts without worrying about your trial. In the next lesson, I'll show you how to create even more stunning images with Midjourney.